We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a dear heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is sign of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh yeah, people have been outside. See light shining on the world. Oh yeah.
What's that marathon? We're not fighting each other. We know where we're going. We're going to get Biafra. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, no one will touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belonged to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you touch our investments, we'll come back for you. And we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian, if you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adama, oh, well and good. There's no problem.
Onye si na agata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị igwe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọya nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm jiri ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwa sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agaghị isi n'efu ndị iro anyị anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe emilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero site otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebi ka o wee taa akọkọ igiri ọtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị nwe anyị gwa anọkpa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Happy weekend, everyone that have joined us wherever you are joining from. We appreciate you and we thank you for being part of this weekend program. Like and share the program wherever you are watching us from. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is close to you. Make sure you don't watch alone. Make sure that somebody is there watching with you. Invite other people to join us on this very evening section of our program, doing what we know how to do best. A kind of encouragement to Biafran people, that is what we do. We continue to give our brothers and sisters word of encouragement that we will never give up. No matter what they do against us, we will never give up. No matter the attack against us from right, left, and center, no matter all the plans against us, we will never give up. We will continue to do what we have to do. We will continue to fight and make sure that our voice is being heard. We will continue to give voice to our Supreme Nnamdi Kanu and to our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. We know that there is a serious war that is going on between Biafra and Nigeria. And we are not going to pretend we do not know. We are not going to pretend all is well. We will continue to do everything humanly possible to see that the flag of Biafra is raised. And wherever you are, all you need to do is to join hands and let us continue to support the leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. Let us do everything humanly possible to see that they regain their freedom so that we can know which way we should go. We have come a long way. We have fought so many battles, and we will continue to fight. Nigeria is gone and gone forever. All you need to do is to look at their news, listen to their news. They are gone. Today, Sunday Igboho has gone back as a dog to swallow his vomit. We know he has been a thug, political thug. He has gone back to his business as a thug. Today, people are talking about election, even when they know that the selection has been done already. Today, the government of the day is throwing money around, buying everybody buyable. And some people somehow still believe they can make a change. But we know that Nigeria is irredeemable. And we will continue to show the world the reason we say that Nigeria is irredeemable. We don't pretend about it. All you need to do is to go and check. Each time you hear us speak, whatever we say, go and make your own verification. The truth remains that Nigeria cannot stand. From Nigeria to the world stage, the truth they cannot hide anymore. They cannot hide the truth that Nigeria is a failed state. They cannot hide the atrocity of the failed state Nigeria. They cannot hide the reality of the terrorist state called Nigeria. The more they hide it, the more they expose themselves. There is no way you can hide the atrocity. Every day it is becoming much more clearer than it was in the past. And we will continue to expose them. We will continue to tell the world what is going on. We will continue to show the world what is going on. They can't hide it. We will not allow them to hide it. If they try to hide it, we will expose them. Anytime they try to hide it, we will bring it out for people to see. That is our duty. And we will continue to do that. So, I appreciate every one of you joining us wherever you're joining from. Like and share this program so that others can join us and hear what is going in the Zoological Republic. A failed and irredeemable state, a terrorist state. That is what it is. That is what it will remain. I want every one of us to pay attention. Let us hear about the security situation of Nigeria, how Nigerian government is recruiting terrorists, and how Nigerian government is protecting and defending the terrorists themselves. That is the program I'm going to watch from their own conventional media. I am going to play it so that you will hear with your own ear how they are protecting and defending the terrorists in Nigeria. The international communities must see this and they must pay attention. Because when we speak, we do not just speak because we want to. We say the things we say because they are the truth that cannot be hidden. And that is why we are here to expose them when they try to hide their lies. Let us watch this program from their own conventional media for you to understand better. We must continue.
Section 38 will defend headquarters backing Chief of Defense Staff Oliede's controversial stand on pardoning repentant terrorists. Even as churches, communities, and victims cry foul, the Ecclesia Yanuwa of Nigeria's Church of the Brethren revealed that insurgents have displaced over 70 of its branches, while in Kwara State, terrorists are demanding 1 billion naira ransom for 5 abducted worshippers in Benue. Suspected armed headmen brutally attacked a boat operator, amputating him and injuring others, underscoring the human toll of unchecked violence. Meanwhile, Plateau youth stormed the government house in protest over rising killings, insisting authorities have failed to protect them. The debate over reintegration of former fighters has further polarized the nation, with legal expert Mrs. Ali agreed to keep tackling insecurity, while the defense headquarters clarified that no retention terms or bandits have been recruited into the Nigerian military. Well, we've been joined in the studio here to help us make sense of this topic by Mr. Dele Fanimo. Dele is a citizen reporter and as well as a public affairs analyst. What is Dele Fanimo and thank you guys for it. Virtually, we've been joined by Adam is a constitutional lawyer, but he's here in the capacity of a public affairs analyst. We also have Mr. Eze Eluche. Mr. Eluche is an attorney at law as well as a public affairs analyst. From our Benin House station, we've also been joined by Mr. Williams Edeya. Williams Edeya is here in the capacity of an activist as well as a public affairs analyst. Gentlemen, good morning and thanks for joining us on the open this morning. Okay. All right, before we get into conversation with our guests, there's a video, there where the CDS said a lot of things about how, repentant terrorists and all of that. So let's get a voice to that.
Talking about Operation Safe Oil. So people have asked that questions. Why do we need to rehabilitate criminals? They all should be killed. Because they kill people. Well, that may make sense. But even in the Bible, we heard about the prodigal son. If there was not a window for the man to come back, would they have come back? So the point is that these are Nigerians, mostly. And it's important for us to give them that window to repent if they want, rather than pushing them to the extreme, to say, okay, it's either we kill you or you continue with the adventure. I think it's important for us to make people understand, especially the National Assembly, because as we speak now, everything about safeguarding is being given by defense headquarters. And there's no part of the budget that says, okay, you should run Operation Safeguarding. So, Honorable there, I'm only speaking to you to understand the importance of.
All right, and there you have it, the chief of the defense stand, Oliye. They say, well, that we understand that he understands that terrorists have killed Nigerians. But should we kill them? He says, well, he doesn't think so, because even the Bible says that you should have forgiving spirit. That's according to the chief of defense staff. Mr. Fanimo, let me come straight to you. Can you help us make sense of what the chief of defense staff said about the value of reintegrating terrorism, into back to society? But they were very clear that, well, that no repentant terrorists have been taken back or taken into the military. Help us make sense of this position and how that helps us in fighting insecurity.
For me, the criminal is and either we like it or not, I don't support the integration. I don't support the application. These guys are just like predators. The moment a lion or tiger kills a human being, he has tasted raw meat with salt, which is away from the normal raw meat that the lion is used to or the tiger is used to. That is why once the lion kills a human being, that lion must be killed. Because henceforth, that lion or tiger will be looking for human meat to whom he is satisfied with other praise. The same thing goes for these guys. Somebody, those days when we were reading this in one of the books, he said, it takes one killing to become a serial killer. Once you kill one, you don't see any immorality in killing. You have already taken away that from your conscience. So killing afterwards does not really matter. It's like a game. With all these premise, somebody who has deep-seated animosity against the state, who has killed in numbers, who has profited from ransom taking, who has been living a lavish life, displaying opulence, even when there was this cashless problem. We saw on video bandits displaying words of notes running into millions of naira. Even when we couldn't get the new notes as a bed, they got a large chunk of the new notes, they displayed it. How much? Somebody probably he was forced to surrender because he was caught up during operation and he couldn't go anywhere. And he begged not to be killed. And you arrested him alive, brought him back, and you say you want to rehabilitate that person. The animalistic instinct in that person cannot leave him. Okay. And so, that is why our security is compromised today. Because some of these people, so-called, I overheard one General Adi debunking claims that these people are being integrated. But we have seen military officers in the past saying that some of them that were rehabilitated still went back to their base in the Sambisa forest. And these are people that were giving intelligence to terrorists because they're already inside, they know how to intercept radio signals.
Okay, so apparently they were serving as both.
They were there as both. So how would you say you want to rehabilitate? It's just like you want to take away from the road. Somebody who makes an average of 50 million, 50,000 naira every day, and you say you want to give him a paid job for 1 month to wait for 30 days to collect 70,000.
Okay, so apparently you are saying that. Go back to Thank you very much. Let's go to Barrister Eze Eluche, who joined us virtually. Good morning to you, Barrister Eluche, and thank you for joining us on the
Yeah, good morning. It's always my pleasure to be here. Good morning to your guests.
Okay. All right, good to have you, sir. Now, I'm sure you follow this conversation and you listen to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Oluye. They said, well, we don't necessarily have to kill repentant terrorists, despite the fact that we know that they are criminals and they have killed fellow Nigerians. But well, we need to temper justice with mercy because even the Holy Book, the Bible, you know, that you and I read and other Nigerians read, which is mercy and forgiveness. And how do you react to that? Within the context of Nigeria's, the leadership's intentionality, you know, to fight insecurity, the war on terror. How do you react to all of that?
Thank you very much. I think before General Oluye made those comments, he should have first apologized to the families of generals such as General Zikizu, General Hassan Ahmad, General Musa Uba, the several brigade commanders of Operation Lafia Dole who died in the cause, and hundreds of Nigerian young men, soldiers, who sacrificed their lives for what General Oluye now calls his brothers. We should apologize to those families. We should apologize to because they died in vain. They died absolutely. It was a useless death from what the general is saying. And it's so sad. It's so sad because it is now clear that our security, the generals, those who from the National Security Advisor, who have said these are his brothers to war, so Oluye is now saying that these characters have no idea what they are up against. They don't understand that these terrorists, these Islamic jihadist terrorists, are ISIS linked. They are linked to the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIL. They are part of Islamic ISIS, West Africa, ISWA. So they think these guys are their brothers. I mean, that shows that we simply don't even understand what is happening. They think these are just like ragtag. The other day they were called ragtag. Who are you calling ragtag? These guys receive sophisticated machineries, sophisticated weapons, sophisticated trainings, even perhaps more than what the soldiers of Nigeria military receive. And they are now called our brothers. It is pathetic. It is sad. I mean, I lack words because these are the guys who make commands to our soldiers. For goodness sake, if you were a soldier in the front lines trying to fight these terrorists, and you hear your chief of defense staff say that these people you are about to engage with are your brothers, you don't go back home. You find your way home.
All right. I'm happy that you brought us to this point. I'm happy that I wanted to ask you, the way General Oluyede spoke, is it going to serve as a motivation to the terrorists, and on the flip side, lower the morale of Nigerian soldiers? They didn't check his words, they didn't read through his words, they didn't think through his words before making those statements. Or do you think that, well, he might have been under pressure from some higher quarters to come in that direction? Because this is one who has been chief of army staff, the whole of Nigerian army. He had his commanders, in the battlefield. And he's saying, well, and some of his commanders, like you said, died, on the line of duty. And this is a man that has come out to say, well, though they have killed fellow Nigerians, we don't necessarily need to kill them. Isn't it going to serve as a motivation to the terrorists and lower the morale of Nigerian soldiers? What do you think?
Oh, certainly. Certainly it will enhance, to boost the morale of these terrorists. They will now go and kill with random, with joy, knowing that even the hierarchy of our institutions believe that they are brothers. And it was not a slip of the tongue. It was a well thought out policy of this Bola Tinubu regime. If you recollect, not a few days ago, the National Security Advisor uttered the same words, that these are our brothers. So nobody should say that it's a game plan. And more ridiculous is the biblical version, or the biblical verse General Oluyede tried to quote, the case of the prodigal son. The prodigal son did not come with guns blazing, shooting at his father's house before he was welcome. The prodigal son would have been killed if he had done that. But then this man said, these are our brothers. It's a pity. I mean, I really am, and that is the reason why in the southeast and some parts of Nigeria, young men cannot enter the military, because they know that this is the intent, this is the base of what the military hierarchy is. They want you to go and be as if you're fighting your brothers, and they take the accolades. Now, more particular is this: why are these terrorists your brothers, and the same government derive joy in incarcerating Nnamdi? And I mean, you have to make that analogy. This is a man who is just asking for the liberation of his own people, and you put him in jail, you label him all sorts, and the people who are killing Nigerians, burning churches, destroying our military fabric, killing our generals are your brothers. For goodness sake, who do we have in prisons in Nigeria? From what General Oluyede has said, from what National Security Advisor Nnamdi has said, Nigeria should open up all the prisons. Because what you have there, you have only scam artists, criminals, thieves, armed robbers, murderers. Brothers, let us reintegrate them. Let us rehabilitate them. Let us know that there's no need, no laws in this country again. All right, then. Shame on these characters. Shame on them. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Ezeuche. Now let's bring Chief Asim Adams into the conversation. Chief Asim Adams, who is also a lawyer and public defense commentator. Good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation. I'm going to take it from this angle of our brothers, because you've heard, I remember very vividly, General Tukur Buratai once said that 60%, that based on the activities of these terrorists, 60% of them are not Nigerians. We've also been told many times that they are from, they're not Nigerians, they are from Niger Republic, and maybe the Sudan and the rest of them. We've been told that many times. We've been told that the language they speak shows that they are not Nigerians. But if we can take the video again where the Chief of Defense Staff, Oluyede, spoke, he didn't talk about in language. He said these are Nigerians, largely Nigerians. Is that a new discovery? Is that some sort of deception?
you know, to type. Now, let's take a listen again. Let's take a listen again. Let's just take that video one more time.
Talking about Operation Safe Coil. So many people have asked that questions. Why do we need to rehabilitate criminals? They all should be killed. Because they kill people. Well, that may make sense. But even in the Bible, we heard about the prodigal son. If there was not that window for the man to come back, would he have come back? So the point is that these are Nigerians, mostly. And it's important for us to give them that window to repent if they want, rather than pushing them to the extreme, to say, okay, it's either we kill you or you continue with the adventure. I think it's important.
But there you have it. Now that's the part I wanted to emphasize. These are Nigerians, mostly. Kifasi Madams, how do you react to this revelation, if you want to call it that, as it negates other narratives that have been put forward before now, that these are not Nigerians and it's been difficult because they just come from, border countries. They've infiltrated our country through the borders. But here we are being told that they are Nigerians. And who are these Nigerians really that are killing fellow Nigerians, displacing them from their homes and burning houses, killing children and women and the rest of them? Give us in, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Well, you see, the last time I was in your studios, I made mention of the fact that I'm tired of talking about Nigeria's insecurity and the processes we are using to deal with it. Because we cannot come on a daily basis and be talking about, situations of this nature. And the next day, the people you are talking to are saying a different thing. So it's like so if the general was talking about our constitution, I would have understood with him. But he's talking about the Bible, and the allusions he made to the Bible is not the same with what we have on ground right now. Could it about the prodigal son issue?
Could it be?
And
sorry to butt in.
these are not prodigal sons.
Sorry to butt in at this point. Jim. At some point when Muhammadu Buhari was holding sway as the president of Nigeria, he threw our borders open to. He actually did say that those wanting to come to Nigeria can come in and get their visa stamped when they are here in Nigeria. And at that point, we saw influx of some individuals, a lot of them not accounted for. Could it be that these individuals have some way, somehow, naturalized in Nigeria? And maybe originally not Nigerians, but now that they have been in Nigeria, they are our brothers. Could it be?
See, I don't know why people are still talking about people from Niger Republic not being Nigerians. They are Nigerians. In Kanu State, in Borno State, the electoral malpractices we have heard and seen in the years before, INEC did investigation and found that most people with voter PVC, personal voter cards, carriers who are voting in Kanu, where Kanu will talk about 3.something million votes. Why you see that many people are rushing, many politicians want to go to Kanu to get and win Kanu because of the population there. And it has been found that about 60% of those people who are voting or voting in Kanu are not Nigerians. These are people who crossed over from Niger and Chad Republic and entered, Nigeria through Borno, Ethiopia, and the rest, now finding themselves in Kanu. For instance, how can you tell me that a state like Yobe State will be saying that the population of Yobe State is more than that of Delta and Edo put together. Why should that be? On election day, on election time, Yobe can turn out 1.5 million votes. But Edo State and Delta put together, and even Anambra State put together, cannot turn out 750,000 votes. So this has been the narration. The reason is because the influx of these people from Chad, Niger, this and so when you talk about this Nigerian and Nigerian, we are all the same. Buhari opened the floodgate for them to enter. And let me tell you that your Buhari has a house in Miami. One of the most beautiful houses in Miami, as we were told, is that it's owned by the ex-president. He never hid the fact. He never hid the fact that he told Amechi, the Minister of Transportation, to create a railway from Lagos to Maradi in Niger Republic. So why are we talking about Nigeria and Niger? These are two countries in one, though administratively and legally speaking, one is on the other side, but by cohabitation or cohabitation, we are one large entity. So the people who are coming here into Nigeria to create these problems are Nigerians, whether by birth or by naturalization, as case may be. That is not even my take. That is not my issue now.
All right.
My issue is this. If the chief of defense staff or whoever that man is was speaking and referring to the constitution, I would have understood with him. The constitution of Nigeria says if he had referred, or cited section of the constitution to say this is my reason, I would have somewhat understood with him. That constitution says a man is not guilty until it is proven otherwise. Section 36.5, presumption of innocence. You understand? Then I would have been okay. Then you have another section of the constitution that talks about you cannot take another slide just without a court order. You can't take the life of another Nigerian. I would have understood with him. But for him to go into the ecclesiastical and now bringing the Bible, using the inference of the prodigal son to that of bandits and terrorists who are bloodsuckers, then I will never agree with him. I will never agree with him. Let me say this. It is foolhardy for me and you to sit down here and believe that for the past 10, 15 years, that the northern agenda has not been playing out in Nigeria yet. When President Tinubu, when President Buhari was in government from 2015, he crafted carefully the northern agenda. He brought in the crazy reserve law. He also gave the herdsmen the temerity and voted right to move around Nigeria and seize people's lands. Of course, Buhari, whenever challenging, Buhari also came out when these terrorists and terrorism was at the height. He also said that those terrorists are our brothers. He was the one that started this narrative. And he's in fact, the former chief of defense staff, Buratai, 3 days ago, said that they would have been killing, terrorists on the battlefield that accost them. But there was an order from the presidency under Buhari that those terrorists that are captured should not be killed. People live there at the crossfire with you. And that was why you said that rehabilitation came into force. Another Buhari, terrorists were rehabilitated. They were paid allowances. And at the same time, they integrated into the Nigerian army. That was Buhari. That was the agenda. Buhari created that northern agenda that will bring that into Nigeria. And that is one of the reasons why I was giving the slack or cutting the slack for President Tinubu, because I thought he was dismantling the northern hegemony agenda of the Buhari administration. When he was, making some appointments here and there, dismantling the north, which made the northern part of the north of east, and we are not happy with his programs, because I felt he was dismantling that power given to them unjustly by Buhari. But he has spoiled everything now. by this statement by the chief of defense staff or whoever that man is.
Is it okay to say
that
the man in question
How can you say that another man will come to your house with AK-47 and you are able to neutralize him and capture him, and you say that we should allow him to go? That is, see, I cannot really understand my anger right now. The way
I can absolutely relate because I can feel the anger, from the screen. Well, thank you very much, Chief Asima. Let's bring Williams in here. But a lot of Nigerians are upset looking at this. Williams trying to set his camera there. Williams, Wunda. Okay, let's come back to you when we know that. Okay, now Williams, we've brought the narrative of Buhari, former president Buhari talking about these brothers and then opening the floodgates to what Nigeria is experiencing today. Now, some Nigerians have felt that with the emergence of a different president, they would have seen a clampdown or a reduction in insecurity perpetrated by these individuals, but that has not happened. And the narrative around taking it easy with them, and I use that word loosely, and reintegrating them, has continued to hold sway. Can we say that it's been the law or the procedure of bringing these people into Nigeria, allowing them to do what they do? Don't hurt them. Even if you are, shooting at each other, don't kill them when you capture them. Is that something that has been entrenched? Should we now accept that as part of how we exist and coexist with these individuals? Is that something that has been entrenched in our society? Should we just accept it?
Good morning, Mr. Moses. Can you hear me, please?
Very clearly. Go ahead.
Yes, you see, I really can't understand what kind of ideology or what kind of system of operation with the Nigerian army. And then from the question, then I will not say that we should then call the entire member of the APC, or that what kind of ideology, what is it that has been sold to them? Because you see, starting from Buhari, the same party, and most of these people who are also in this government, they were there before in Buhari's government. So we need to call them and let us ask them some question. What is it? What is an agreement that people have entered into with this group, this set of people, terrorists? Because I see no reason why you be petting somebody who is an enemy to the state. And an enemy to the state, for example, being picked by anybody, you're supposed to even give the person, the government is supposed to give the person an handshake because that person is an enemy to the state. And then now people who are given the mandate to in operation in our territory, Nigeria as a whole, and then you are telling them that they should start integrating them. You don't want just come and start fighting. To people that you hear them on a live streaming. You understand? A major general was killed on live streaming, and then you are saying, okay, for example, that person that committed that act come back and say, okay, he wants to repent, and then you accept the person. Okay, you are free to repent, and then you go back to the society. Is that what? Now, permit me to address it. The war that is currently going on that is ravaging the entire country, the entire country of the world, in the sector of the oil sector, that petrol prices decrease. It's as a result of people who are doing or training terrorists to terrorize the world. And if you go to the international law governing this issue of terrorism, it's very straight to the point. You are not going to allow these people to live. They are enemy to the world. And then in your country,
day-to-day perpetrating evil, and then you are saying that they should come and they should be integrated. Now, the painful part, I can understand why my co-analysts are very.
All right, seems we've lost connection to Williams and TIA there. We'll try and reconnect with Williams, but let's bring it back to the studio. Funny now, this issue is it's tumbling to conceive, but right now, is it okay for Nigerians to say this is the way, this is what is definitely us, and what do you think should be the way forward now, especially for the morale of soldiers? With some of those that have laid complaints about the orders that they get, and we've seen them be here, that they've been arrested. A lot of them, we don't get to see them on social media anymore. But then we still see some of these terrorists showing off the spoils of war, the monies that they've gotten. In fact, not too long ago, a woman who claimed to be the wife of one Mohammed, who was arrested, came on a live stream on social media, TikTok and the rest. He said, "Look, Mohammed is missing. He's my husband. If you find him, don't kill him. If you kill him, Allah will punish you," and all of that. And this is the same person who has carried guns and killed people.
Two baristas at Nairobi agreed that it's not the right way to go. And in my opening remarks, I also
Is this politically motivated?
I made it clear that there's no way you can justify those statements. And you could see the man was not even at ease when he was making that statement. So it shows that there is somebody or a group of people trying to remote control to come up with this thing. Because an average soldier who has seen his colleagues falling, that Major General was killed when this chief of defense staff was also Major General. So they probably could be mates in NDA. That is enough emotional trauma for him to have resisted coming to Nigeria to make this statement. Soldiers in battle, it's a 50-50 thing. It's either you are killed or you kill.
Do you think this has anything to do with, to pander to some interest, just to, keep them and beg, not to, just to some kind of, rapprochement.
So what may likely be that those people that want to win election want to say, let's not rock the boat, because these people are largely northerners. Let's be straight honest. They're largely northerners, and there is constant pressure and threats from this part of the country. And it is either you go out living or you are not following you. So there is tendency for the powers that be to play it down, waiting for when they will get whatever they want to get. But for what end? Nigerians are dying. Those who fall during these attacks, they are not as traumatically enslaved than those who lose their loved ones. Some families are not getting anything right now, and there is no help from the state. And justice stands on a tripod. Justice to the victim, justice to the person that did something to the victim, and then justice to the society. That statement has not done justice to society, has not done justice for the victim. The only point of this tripod is justice to the assailant, who does not even deserve to live. So, your question directly answering your question is, if this continues, Nigeria may be forced to embark on self-help. Because you cannot come to my territory with my family and I know that I can ward you off with whatever means, and I will, in my mind, register it that somebody is coming as a state actor to protect me. If I have a way of taking you out, I would gladly do it. And if it comes to the point, I would likely want to face the consequence.
I was going to ask you, and funny enough, you just touched on the question I wanted to ask. Listening to the army chief's speech, it paints a very grim picture, about the insecurity situation in Nigeria, and it's almost hopeless. And in fact, if you read feelers on social media and even talk to people, you realize that Nigerians are pretty much giving up hope. So at this point, do we just resign to faith and just let it just play out?
No.
What can we do? Because the army chief did say that there's no way they could recruit repentant, as they call them, repentant bandits into the military. But how do you explain to the average Nigerian the precise intelligence and manner with which these guys operate? How do you convince the average Nigerian that
it rattles my brain how people come to the media to spew lies? For instance, I remember there was a video of this repentant Boko Haram. There was a documentary on them, how they were being pampered, how they were served chicken and all that during training, and how they were integrated. And then somebody in this generation that have not died coming back to say nobody was integrated. It doesn't add up at all, because we saw it that they were rehabilitated, and the former chief of staff also confirmed that these people were rehabilitated, and some of them were arrested, string ammunition in their belts. When they were caught, they discovered that they were Boko Haram that were integrated into the army. Some took away rifles. National Security Advisor confirmed it in one of the statements that some of those weapons in the hands of bandits and terrorists were originally state-owned weapons. So how can somebody, within a space of 2 years, now begin to change the narrative, and Nigerians just keep quiet? To answer your question about what can we do, the question, General Theophilus Danjuma once said it when they were attacking in the Taraba state. He said, you guys, you need to protect yourself, because the first law of nature is self-preservation. So if it gets to that, then we can begin to organize ourselves and then find a way of removing these people, because they are being emboldened every day.
Every day, emboldened every day. All right, thank you. Let's run back to Williams today. I understand we've been able to establish connection. Williams, can you hear me?
I hear you clearly, Mr. Okoro.
Okay, beautiful. Now, there's this statement coming from the Chief of Defense Staff. I asked our guest here in the studio whether it has anything to do with 2027, and it was more like, well, it has political implications and all of that. You recall that when the daughter of Fasoranti was murdered in some parts of, I think, Ondo State or in Ore, in Ondo State, the current president then, who was the chief of national leader of the APC, the first question he asked is, where are the cows? Who told you that they are headers and all of that? Even before police concluded investigation, there was this comment, this idea that, well, it was armed robbery and all of that. Are you able to tie that, with what the current chief of defense staff is saying, looking at 2027? Because then that comment was made ahead of the 2023 general election. Are you able to tie that? Do you see any nexus between then and now?
Mr. Okoro, I'm going to tell you that this has always been political right on time, because whatsoever people that have been on the streets since 2015 is that, all about politics. Probably an agreement, why they go into so much aggression with the state. Probably what have been on the street, that agreement that was reached, and then it was later breached, and then they have to resort to settlers and looking for how to make sure that they get justice based on their anger. So whatever you are going to tie this issue and the nonchalant attitude that the government, people who are supposed to take up these issues are attaching or giving to them, you are not far from it. You understand? I see why. Now, remember, there's this story of this issue was released that the INEC chairman also went about to say from disclosing content about security issue that is a threat to the election. Now, you are so much busy buying buses, doing city boys, relaxing, this, that, and that, all over, jamboree, combating governors overnight, making them members of your ruling parties. So now, if you are so much concerned about this, there is something that is also threatening the commencement or the election aspects that you are so much praying for. And you are not going to handle that situation, then there is something that you are trying to hide. There's something that you are trying to tell that probably what is happening is going to aid you or win the election.
All right.
Because I see no reason why you can't tackle it. And it's a direct threat to the election.
Direct threat to the election. Thank you very much, William, for that. Let me go back to Barrister Eze Eluche. Barrister Eluche, there's a certain Ambassador Sam Brownback, former U.S. envoy for Ambassador at large and in charge of religious affairs. He said something, and the video is viral. I wish we could get that video and play it. And what he said is that, well, Nigeria risks break up if the killings are not stopped. Can you interrogate that statement? Can it happen? I mean, because of these killings, can it lead to break up? How would that be?
Well, thank you very much. Before I answer that question, let me just add to what Mr. Tinubu said. One of the things he said when the Fansoratis, he not only said that we are in the house, he also insinuated that the killings might have been caused by some other people, and there was influence of the Southeast Easterners. Go and look at the video of what he said. So it is clearly political. And with regards to what the Americans saying, I mean, we don't need to hear Americans say these things. We are looking at it directly. We are observing it. We are seeing it likely that there is already a division.
Well, unfortunately, we've lost connection with Barrister Ezeluche. Pastor Asim Adams, can we have let's have your concluding thoughts on this issue. What do you think? What do you see coming?
I am done with the issue of insecurity. I will go into the issue of Nigeria's division or whatever the U.S. former ambassador said. Let me tell everybody categorically that I have extricated myself from the mainstream Nigerian, country as a nation. The Southeast, the Southwest, and the North, they have been the tripod we call. The question we have asked, I am from the minority in the South-South. Why should the Southeast, Southwest, and the North, kind of prevail on me on a daily basis? For instance, Section 55 of your Constitution, Nigeria, says that the National Assembly can conduct proceedings in the 3 major languages, which means Akpabio and the one in the House of Reps can conduct their proceedings in Hausa, Yoruba, or Hausa, or Igbo. What about those of us from the South-South? They never listed that the matter can be conducted at the national body with people from the Niger Delta. So we from the Niger Delta already, we are out of Nigeria. The Southeast people, you can go your way. Southwest, please go your way. Allow the Niger Delta Republic to be. And I have seen myself as a Niger Delta Republican and not a Nigerian as the case may be. Because the Trauca, the big brothers we have had, they have had everything, about 90% or 99% of the chunk of appointments, of the chunk of embezzlement in Nigeria has been done by these 3 groups in Nigeria here. They have been an overbearing and overweighty, tripod on those of us of the South-South and those of the minority. I come from the minority. How do I have a voice in the country in Nigeria here where your national constitution is skewed against us from the minority in the Niger Delta here. So if the man is echoing what I already know, it's going to be a blessing in disguise for us in the Niger Delta. I have been advocating. Why are they who holding the southeast, the Biafra? That is what I say. To remove this thing by force, the United Republic as Dubai, as Oman, Saudi Arabia, we don't have population, but 90% of the resources for which people fight yourself over come from this area of the Niger Delta. And it's the most impoverished area in Nigeria here. And somebody will sit down in the east, sit down in the south, the west, and the north, and be saying he wants to live. What's my own business with that? We want all of you to leave us alone so that we can tap our resources. Let everybody go their own way. So I support what the ambassador has said. It has been on our minds since then. I am a true Niger Republican, and I remain so. I want a country of my own so that I can tap my resources and live my life the way I want to live it. Niger is only part of Nigerian soul that do not have similarities in culture with any of these three big brothers we call, as the case may be. Look at appointments. Three big brothers and one are taking it. Is that the Igbo man takes? It is that the Hausa man takes? Or the Yoruba man takes? The presidency, only one time we have tasted it. And you never allowed us to go enjoy that presidency of Jonathan as case may be. So please, when it comes to this kind of issues, I'm very emotional about it.
Yes.
Three people should stop disturbing us. We are ready and have made up my mind that I am not a Niger Delta Republican. And that is where I stand today. And the detention in the Niger Delta done by the three people, ethnic, majority in Nigeria here has created, stunted growth and development for all of us. We are frustrated right now as I speak. So please, I echo, what the ambassador has said. Well, it's long overdue. That is my own take. Thank you.
All right, your take there, Chief Asim Adams. And this is Voice of the People television. Everyone has a voice. If I could speak your language, I would address you in your language, but I can't. I think about the only thing I know is well, thank you very much, Chief Asim Adams, for your contribution. Let's go back to Barrister Eze, because the network took you off at that point, and you're still making your points there. So, Barrister Eze, if you can hear me, please, let's just have you conclude on your thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this conversation.
Yes, thank you very much. I said that we don't need.
Well, unfortunately, we've lost connection again with Barrister Hazel. Now, we'll go into the next discussion. 2027 general elections. No security, no democracy. That's coming from INEC, federal government. As Senator Seraki Dixon declares APC has failed Nigeria. Do join us again. Right now. Watch it pass. Benjamin. Suspected armed headmen brutally attacked.
And prompts.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on TV. I'm Jane Oboye. Tension is mounting in Nigeria's health sector as doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other medical professionals have staged protests against the proposed bill that would place all health workers under the regulatory authority of the Medical Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN. Demonstrators argue that the legislation is an attempt to strip other professional councils of their autonomy, warning it could erode standards, create confusion, and undermine the specialized training that different cadres bring to patient care. The bill currently before the National Assembly has sparked outrage across hospitals and unions. The health workers insisting that regulation could remain within their respective professional bodies, such as the Nursing and Midwifery Council and the Pharmacist Council. The protests highlight deep divisions over governance in the sector, raising fears that if the bill passes, Nigeria could face strikes and further disruptions in already overstretched hospitals. Well, this seems more like a power tussle and control for autonomy as highlighted, and it sends a dangerous signal, if not hope, because we're already grappling with the Japa syndrome of our health professionals leading in droves to other parts of the world where they have better care, or where they have better welfare, where they are paid, better than they are in Nigeria. Um, we also have the issue of lack of infrastructure in the health sector and other issues. So if we want to add that, all of that with this part also, then we might have like a comatose in the health sector. While it's good to have the autonomy, I also think that it's possible to have that autonomy and still belong to an umbrella body. Because I know that in other sectors of the economy, Nigerian economy, okay, let me talk about the film industry that I'm quite conversant with. You have the Directors Guild, you have the Scriptwriters Guild, you have the Producers Union, but all of them still belong to the Actors Guild of Nigeria. However, I know that they still fight for that autonomy and all of that. It's good, but I think we should, however, look at the deep-seated issues. Why do they still want the autonomy? Why don't they want to belong to an umbrella body? Is it because they feel that the umbrella body might not necessarily cater to their own demands as individual?
Absolutely. I think,
I think that's
if you lump them all
One man,
together,
yeah.
they might not get ample representation when it comes to
Perhaps.
issues of policies and the rest of them. So I mean, they are all professionals, and it's like what we have in the education sector, where university graduates think they are superior to polytechnic graduates and the rest of them. So pharmacists and the rest of them, they are all professionals. They all play pivotal roles in the medicine sector, the medical sector, and the rest of it. In my opinion, I would say the different bodies should be allowed to operate independently with different organizations, different individuals representing these bodies independently, as against just putting them all under. When doctors ask for increase in salaries, nurses will say, "Okay, we're also doing something."
Yes.
And truly they are.
Yeah.
They are. Yes, the doctors oversee activities in the hospital, but the nurses are the ones that cater to the patients.
Yes.
They are the ones that ensure that the patient takes medication as at when due. They clean up the patients. They make the job of the doctors easier. So they would also ask for an increase. The pharmacists that produce the drugs, the medication, and would also ask for some sort of attention. So I think they should be allowed to operate independently. That's my take.
But can they still belong to an umbrella body?
Of course, they belong to NLC. NLC
And not stand. So I think what they want is
an umbrella medical body.
And that is what they are trying to create, which is quite unfortunate. Because there's always been this conflict. Yes, conflict, sort of, between especially doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. And it also depends on the jurisdiction. In some jurisdictions, like we have here in Nigeria, if you see the medical doctor, the medical doctor examines you, now prescribes drugs, to the pharmacist. Now you go to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist will just dispense. So what pharmacists see themselves here are more like they just dispense. But a jurisdiction, I understand, if the doctor examines you, the doctor says this is what is wrong with this patient, and now refers you to the pharmacist. It is the pharmacist that does that prescription. So it differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So there's always this. In fact, basically, I wanted to say this. There's always this physical conflict, between especially doctors and nurses. There's sometimes you see nurses say, "Okay, let's come on. Okay, doctor has okay, come on." Do you understand? It's like saying that in the university you want to collapse ASU and the NASU, in one umbrella organization. How is that going to work? Because at some point when lecturers are on strike and the column is strike, and ASU will be on strike.
But because in Nigeria,
It's a Nigerian thing.
because it happens in offices too. It happens in offices, and there was a time I was working on radio, and then there was, I don't know if I should blame the leader of that organization, but there was some sort of divide and rule approach, and it brought division amongst the different arms. You know, so the presenters, the producers felt, look, they were disregarded, so they should be the ones they should be giving some sort of attention. The engineers felt, okay, without me, your voice will not be heard. And and each time we had meetings, I think it was a leadership problem because the leaders, knowingly or unknowingly, pitched the different departments against each other. So you would have the engineers reporting the presenters. There is the presenter's fault. They tampered with the equipment. That was why there was a failure of broadcast, and the presenters will say, no, it's the engineers that need to fix it. So that's, and that's exactly what happens in the health sector as well.
The health sector, I think the only place in where like media now where I find that the missing is in the print. Because in the print, the editor is as long as that tabloid you have in your hand is concerned, it is the editor that has the final decision. Then in the medical sector, we have this ongoing conflict. So I'm not sure that, I don't know what the federal government wants to achieve by putting together all regulatory. And when they say, a single regulatory body, because the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, they also have, they have radiographers union too.
Yeah.
I think that's, they also have a regulatory body. Do they belong to the Medical and Dental Council? They have physiotherapy and all of that. Are they trying to lump everything together? To what end? I'm sure. Well, I think if they go in this direction, the federal government might end up creating more problems than trying to solve the problem. Except they want to, in that sector, except they want to beat everybody. And if they try to beat everybody into shape, it is going to explode at some point, because doctors, how doctors behave now. We are the doctor and all of that. And pharmacists, okay, we are the pharmacists. And nurses are very powerful because yes, they are. Nurses are very powerful.
They are.
Because that is the first point of call. Because the moment you go to the hospital and it's not that, oh God, in fact, pray not to meet. Nurses are
an aggrieved nurse.
make your life miserable. Like 55%, if not 90% of nurses. No. I have never encountered on very simple occasions have I gone to hospital and encountered friendly nurses.
You don't go smiling. That's you should learn to compliment.
They are very, very hostile. So the way I try to overcome that hostility is by TV.
No.
I hospital or
public. I took my son. I took my son to lose. I took my son to look. He was about 7 then. The first problem we encountered was unfortunately, or can I say unfortunately for us, the nurse spoke the same language with me.
And that was unfortunate.
Yes.
Really? I thought it was
in fact, it was even nurses that spoke a different language. A medical doctor. In fact, there was a particular medical doctor. That woman she gave me an I don't even know how to. It was even Yoruba doctors.
I think you should approach very friendly. I think you should have a more friendly approach.
We work here now. We work here. People know that I'm very friendly.
Yes, of course.
I'm not the only one that has complained about girls.
Not just compliments them because they're working hard. So some of them have been on their feet for hours.
Even when they resumed it, that day we got to that point where they were resumed. And it was like we were the one that caused a problem.
But a lot of people will say that nurses, public hospitals, government hospitals are quite hostile. In fact, a lot of people who have been delivered of their babies in public hospitals will tell you that pray not to meet some nurses because you would even prefer to heal, and be at home than to face them. I think it's because of I don't know, maybe the working conditions or I don't know, but nurses in private hospitals I find
you can be tied to the working conditions.
Perhaps or overwhelmed.
So they are not the only ones that work in that hospital.
I don't know. Maybe people also approach, like Moses said, maybe people also approach their hostile.
Oh well, so let's move away from that conversation. Let's get into another. Well, the Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, has warned that Any civil servant not at their desk by 10 a.m. will be dismissed, following his unscheduled inspection of government offices that revealed widespread absenteeism. Well, visibly angered by empty seats during official hours, Soludo declared that by 10 a.m., if you are not on your seat, he says, we don't need them. All right, so if they're not on their seats, we don't need them. Now, this is a statement that's been trending online and stirring controversy over governance, workers' rights, and productivity. Now, the governor's crackdown comes amid his broader campaign against what he calls economic sabotage, including shutting down the Onitsha main market to force compliance with government directives against the secessionist-imposed seat-at-home order. But the governor insists Anambra is now one of the safest states in Nigeria and vows to intensify security operations against criminal groups. But his latest ultimatum has left many asking whether mass sack will solve systemic inefficiency or plunge the state workforce into deeper crisis. Well, I absolutely agree with the governor. If you're not on your seat at a particular time, there is resumption time. All right, there is resumption time. You should be there. If resumption is 9 a.m., you should be there. Some organizations, private organizations, clock in. Yes. So you clock in. If you're not there, that means you didn't come to work that day. So people should learn to be accountable. I don't understand workers' welfare. I mean, you're paid your salaries. That's an agreement you've reached. You reach an agreement. You're paid what is due unto you. As long as what is due unto you comes when to you, you should be at your place of work. You should be at your place of work. And civil servants, more often than not, take advantage of the bureaucracy in the system because they understand that they'll get away with a lot of things. So yes, I am for this move by the governor. People should be held accountable and make to do what they have been employed to do.
Yes, I do agree, but I'm with you about this because Nigerians, we have very terrible work culture. The way we work in Nigeria is, I mean, we are so lackadaisical. We don't take public jobs as anything. Maybe because of the fact that if you get into civil service, it becomes a very clear task to start civil service. So people take it for granted. Well, oh, I don't show. That's the attitude. I have been to some places where, and when I talk about terrible work attitude, you get into office, people are just chattering, discussing what happened yesterday, what happened last week. Meanwhile, they have responsibilities. They have files to move to minutes from one office to the other, and they just sit there and talk and discuss and just talk, chatter away. And you begin to wonder. And in fact, if you are going to the public office to get a problem solved, you don't even call them to bother because if you do, their problem will start from that point. As a matter of fact, if you have a file to move, they say, okay, come and move. They might not say it to your face, but that will be at the back of your mind. Okay, you want to come and tell us that
It takes us back to the nurses issue.
Yes.
Yes. Attitude to work. Very, very important. I've been to some places
where you get into an office. There are open plan offices. How people work. You see like 40 people. One. Only you know that people there. Probably if you step inside, everybody
on your desk, working.
Yes. People don't converse. Nothing. But here, the moment I get into the federal secretary in Abuja, in fact, it's a beehive. Everybody working.
Busy doing nothing.
And these people have their ID cards, on them.
Yes.
And they are working from one office to the other, playing politics and all of that. So I'm with Uma Soludo on this. I mean, by 10 o'clock, people have no resume. You see people go to the offices with their wares, to sell clothes.
And to be honest, it's against civil service.
It's against civil service. But like I said, before you even put it in civil service, and to the point that the person wants to of a job, you must have to go through selection. The process is so cumbersome on that. Even when you consider it's a leftist person, our work attitude, and we have this big man syndrome. I narrated the experience. Moses, I don't know if you remember. I traveled, so my papers had problems. So I needed to get it fixed. Of course, I went to the Nigerian embassy.
Oh yes,
So
I recall.
So, and you know what? When I got to that immigration point, the immigration office, and it got to a point where they said I needed the only person I can sign off is the Controller General. So now you say I know we need this country. No, how? Let's go. Let's go. I had one. And the man said, can it happen here? Can it happen here? Ordinary, so this big man syndrome, it looks larger than life. We have that aura of you walk into somebody's house, yes, can I help you? Why did you just walk into my house? This is our attitude here. Meanwhile, people are there, placed there to solve problems. And instead of solving your problem, they end up
in fact, I think they even deliberately make you frustrated so that they can frustrate what the main reason that brought
so that they will feel important.
Exactly. I think it's just like you said, the whole big manism, or my office, yes, you figure your office, but yeah, I'm in charge. I think that's just a feeling. A friend said he had to go to was it local government or Bayek office in Benue State to get his statement. I think he misplaced it. So he said he got into the office. He could hear voices inside the office, but they had locked the the door. And guess what they were discussing? They were discussing big money. He said he sat down there. At a point, he was knocking on the door. They said, "You better wait." So when they were done, they came out and they said yes. So he said, "What?" They said, "Okay, you have to go downstairs, go and pick a form, fill it, and come up." So of course he had to play, because they are now. So I think it's a systematic issue, and just like you said, because there's so much bureaucracy, they know that to take me off the seats, we won't follow through. So just abide my rules. So I like what Soludo is doing, and they're really giving me a tough time.
And when at some point when the complaints, got so much, they established what they call them. You know what they did? I'm sorry for this. They employed, who they employed in semicon? Women. So when you enter into a government office, you see a semicon desk, by like 2 or 3. Because semicon is where they receive complaints about how the people were not properly served.
In the same office.
Yes. And so when you get to semicon, you see 3 women. As a big brother,
who do you take the complaint? Well, we need better working attitude. Well, let's be clear. It's not just here in Nigeria. It happens in other clients as well. Even developed clients, they happen where they're trying to go to get a coffee, and something, and the attendant just acts like you don't matter, like you're not even there, and they'll chatter away on the phone. So yes, it happens in other countries. It's not peculiar.
I like how you always you're such a patriotic Nigerian. And I love it. I love that about it.
It's not peculiar to Nigeria, but we have our problem that we have to solve ours. All right. Oh well, let's move away from that conversation. Let's run to the papers now. Let's see what the papers have for us this morning. I do have trying to get this one open here.
Okay, we can
Oh, great. All right. I have the Guardian. Let me start with the Guardian newspaper. So the big story here is Nigeria's heat crisis. Show you whether it is hot. Power failure, fuel costs, trigger public health, financial crisis. Window headlines. Turaki appeals bench warrant as PDP faction for closest support for Tinubu's re-election. FG reduces power sector liabilities as Nelco clears 2.16 trillion naira debt. CBN slashes ways and means to 2.84 trillion naira from 26.95 trillion naira in 2023. NLC CSOs warn Nigeria losing fight against corruption. Only 249 out of 774 local council areas have pipe-borne water. IGP submits state police framework. APC defends zoning, consensus, Tinubu's choice ahead of convention, and the bottom strip. INEC warns of electoral violence, foreign influence ahead of 2027 polls. I think I'm going to get parentheses. INEC warns of electoral violence, foreign influence ahead of 2027 polls. Well, those are the headlines there.
Let's move over to the Punch newspaper. 32 governors, 450,000 delegates arrive Abuja for APC convention. Government orders remote work amid gridlock fears. Convention opens as party reports lawsuits claims. Airlines, hotels cash in. CBN blacklists top loan defaulters. 2027 governorship. Inside Kwara's APC's consensus dilemma. UK raises visa citizenship fees for Nigerians and others. Protest erupts as Venezuelan president appears in New York court again. Ali to be crowned Ibadan Oba despite governor B. Blackouts cost Nigeria 40 trillion naira yearly.
Okay, now let's quickly run through the Nigerian tribune with the window headlines. Court orders arrest of Kanu Turaki, PDP factional chairman. Effort ongoing to put PDP on the ballot in 2027. That's the last former Senate president. And the Oma State creation receiving attention. Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president. The big story on the Nigerian Tribune. IGP submits state police framework to Senate. 75-page document focuses on operational, legal, and administrative implications. Ali, 2 others will be installed as obas in Ibadan land, April 3. Court discharges Stella Odua of 2.5 million naira fraud. 3 merchants attack Lagos tax force, said to a well-lined appeal. I'll take that again for emphasis. 3 merchants attack Lagos task force, said to a well-lined appeal. APC set for convention as 8,453 delegates converge in Abuja today. And offices are zoned based on federal character-based machinery. Federal government places free work at federal secretariat. That's it from the Nigerian Tribune.
And let's go to the Vanguard now. These are the headlines here. The winner headlines first. CBN crashes Ways and Means to 2.8 trillion naira. Doso, LG autonomy, key to fixing primary health care. Professor Adinke Grange. High fuel price, low passenger traffic hits transporters hard. There's no money. Oil price rises to $108 as Iran describes US plan to end war, one-sided. Okay. IGP submits frameworks for establishment of state police to Senate. Healthcare sector crisis. Unions protest power grab. Reform bill in Abuja. 2027. Support for Tinubu ignites fresh rumbles in PDP. Now there's a long list of the riders there. We'll touch on all of that during the newspaper review at 10 o'clock. And Agabi Pandef demand 25% derivation Southern presidency in 2020. And yes, those are the headlines there.
Let's check out the Daily Trust. Power outage bites harder. ASU gives federal government 4-day ultimatum to pay new salary. APC convention, government shuts roads, asks civil servants to work from home. Despite $2.5 billion GDP contribution, aviation still underperforming. How mother of 8 died hours after giving birth to quintuplets. I'm not running from 2027 presidency, Saraki. 2 dead, 2 others rescued in Kanu pit collapse. Hours to convention, Bauchi APC yet to resolve crisis. Power outage bites harder. Those are the lead stories coming from the Daily Trust.
All right, that's how far we can go on newspaper headlines now. Let's get into our first major conversation for today, bordering on insecurity. We are worst hit church by insurgents. That's Ecclesia Yanua of Nigeria. Ecclesia Yanua, Nigeria. As Defense Headquarters backs Chief of Defense Staff stance on pardon. Let's touch on this when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, Ideal heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. Wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't kind of even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abaganazo Bunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the war was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our